Spidge is a fantasy football game where you can put your managerial skills to the test against other players to win real money prizes. Track player performance live during match days as players complete actions such as passes, shots and many more using Opta stats. The teams with the most points each match day will enter the winning zone, allowing managers to win real money. So, put your managerial skills to the test and download Spidge for free today via the link in the description. Hello FPL managers, today we go over our final draft team selection with Game Week 1 just a couple of days away. In today's video we go over the finalised locked in squad for Game Week 1 as we have finally come to a conclusion on our team. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as we try and hit 8k subs by the start of the new Premier League season, and with that being said, let's get into the video. So starting off in goals, we've gone with Aaron Ramsdale. He is coming in at £5 million, and I have seen a lot of other managers go for the more expensive Ederson, but I do think over the first 5 game weeks, Ramsdale can match him if not outscore him for points. Arsenal have some superb fixtures over this time, facing up against Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham and Villa. I would expect Arsenal to get clean sheets in probably 3 out of these first 5 games, which would most likely be on par with Man City. Furthermore, Ramsdale does make more saves than Ederson, so for that reason I think you'll probably outscore him by a couple of points in this period. Also, Ramsdale's average of 4 points per 90 out of goalkeepers last season did rank amongst the top 5, so it could be good value in the new year. Onto the defenders now. It's no surprise to see Alexander-Arnold remain on the side, as this week he faces Fulham away. This Game Week 1 fixture is very exciting, especially for those Liverpool defenders, as I would expect them to offer great value at both ends of the pitch, as you can almost always lock in that clean sheet. Next up, it's Doherty from Spurs. I was tossing out whether to go for a Tottenham defender or a Chelsea defender, but we have lent to the Spurs man, as I do think they can get more clean sheets in their first 5 fixtures. Obviously we will be setting up for that early wild card, so we are definitely targeting the first 5 to 6 game weeks, and I do think Matt Doherty can make a fast start, facing up against Southampton at home in Game Week 1. I would be expecting him to be starting for Spurs. Obviously with the new 5 substitutions rule there could be some rotation there, but I am hoping he can play at least 60 minutes to lock in that clean sheet. After this, Tottenham face Chelsea, Wolves, Forest, West Ham and Fulham all the way up until Game Week 6, so a fairly decent batch of fixtures to start. Doherty was immense last season, getting 2 goals and 5 assists in just 1800 minutes, as well as 3 clean sheets there as well, so I definitely think if he can get some starting minutes, he's going to be an excellent scoring defender. Doherty had one of the highest FPL points per 90 out of any defender that played at least 800 minutes last season, as well as expected FPL points per 90, and his XG per 90 did rank towards the top of all defenders as well, who played 800 minutes. Andy Robertson is the 3rd defender on this team sheet, as we have gone for a double up of Liverpool on defence, as I do think Robertson can provide great value similar to Trent. Robertson was getting very far forward in his Community Shield game, missing a header chance at the near post, and also providing an assist for his teammate in Darwin Núñez. Robertson's FPL points per 90 were also very high amongst defenders, ranking in the top 3 last season. Robertson was actually the 3rd highest scoring defender last year, only around 15 to 20 points behind Cancelo despite playing significantly less minutes. So for that reason he's going into the side, especially considering Liverpool's great starting fixtures highlighted by Fulham away in Game Week 1. As I've touched on before, I've chosen to go for the double up in Liverpool defence instead of capitalising on their Chelsea defence, as I do think Robertson offers more attacking potential than the Chelsea defenders, and Liverpool are more likely to get clean sheets, facing Fulham, Palace, Manchester United, Bournemouth and Newcastle in their first 5 weeks. And as the 4th starting defender, we've gone with that Man City asset in João Cancelo. He is currently the 2nd highest owned defender in FPL with a 45% ownership, and I do think he's one that has to be in the sides to avoid significant rank drops. Cancelo did have the highest XG out of any defender last season, as he took the most shots out of any defender, beating any other player by 30. His total of 81 shots was best compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold at just 51. Also, Cancelo did have the highest expected FPL points out of any defender with 225. So with his great goal and assist potential, combined with the very reliable Man City defence for clean sheets, he proves to be a great pick. Now glancing over at the midfielders, beginning with Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez is one that's come into the side fairly early after the FPL launch, as he came in place of Luis Diaz, and he hasn't left the team since. For me, he is the best asset at £8 million in midfield, and he is looking to be fairly nailed for Man City this year, with currently a 95% chance to start in Game Week 1. He is one of the best per 90 players in the Premier League, as last season he did have the second highest expected FPL points per 90 of all players that played 800 minutes, only behind Salah. Furthermore, his actual FPL points per 90 of 8.15 ranks second also amongst all players, and his XG per 90 furthermore ranks second. Also, he averaged over 1 score involvement per 90, which is definitely very impressive, so if he can start the majority of games over the first 5 to 6 fixtures for Man City, I do think he'll be one of the highest scoring midfielders. Fantasy Football Fix also thinks so, as over the first 6 game weeks, they expect Mahrez to be in the top 5 highest scoring players. Looking at Gabriel Martinelli now, he's also one that has remained in the side for the majority of pre-season, as he has impressed for Arsenal. Martinelli has got 1 goal and 5 assists across Arsenal's pre-season, and is looking likely to start in a left wing role. He does look to be one of the best value FPL assets right now, as he is 2 million cheaper than his Arsenal teammates in Saka and Jesus. As we've touched on with Ramsdale, Arsenal have the best starting 5 fixtures out of any team in the Premier League in my opinion, facing Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham and Villa. So at least over these first 5 fixtures, I would also expect Martinelli to be one of the highest scoring midfielders. On to Mo Salah now. It's no surprise to see this man remain in the side, as there's no way he was going anywhere since the FPL launch. His ownership is still a little bit low by Mo Salah's standards, only sitting at around 58 to 59% at the moment, and I would encourage managers that don't have him to get him in quickly. Liverpool have great fixtures to start the year, and Mo Salah does typically start the Premier League seasons very quickly, so for that reason he's got the captaincy armband on him. There's no doubt that he's one of the best players in the Premier League, as last season he did have the highest goals per 90, highest FPL points per 90, and highest expected FPL points per 90. His XG did rank top amongst all players per 90, and his XA did rank third amongst all players per 90, so with these incredible stats there's no way he's not in the side. And as the 4th starting midfielder, there has been a change to the side as Leon Bailey comes in. We have made this move down from Neto to free up that extra £0.5 million to spend around the squad, as I do think Bailey can probably match Neto for points, especially in his first 3 game weeks. Aston Villa face Bournemouth, Everton and Crystal Palace over this time, so there is definitely potential for Bailey to make a good start, as he could prove to be good value at just £5 million, hopefully starting for Villa. He has made a very good start in pre-season as well, matching Neto for returns with 3 goals and 2 assists, and with just an 11.3% ownership right now, I believe he could be a good hidden gem. Onto the forwards now, and it's no surprise to see the same starting combination of Kane and Jesus. A lot of managers have opted for the very popular Erling Haaland with over a 50% ownership, but I do like Harry Kane with just a 25% ownership at the moment. I say this as he is more proven in the Premier League and has had an excellent pre-season with 5 goals and 1 assist. I do think Kane could be one of the top goal scorers this season, potentially notching up to 25 or more goals, and for that reason at £11.5 million he could be a great premium. The Tottenham attack does function very well with the front 3 of Kulusevski, Kane and Son, and with the additions of Richarlison in there as well, I'm sure Kane's going to get plenty of service. Spurs also have great fixtures, as Southampton at home in Game Week 1 is an excellent match for them, followed up by Chelsea away in Game Week 2, Wolves and Forest in Game Weeks 3 and 4 respectively. So as far as forward options go, I do think Harry Kane is slightly better than Erling Haaland, and so that's why he's in the side. And as the second starting forward, it's obviously no surprise to see the most popular pick in FPL, Gabriel Jesus. His ownership is absolutely ridiculous at the moment, sitting at 72.3% currently at the time of recording, which is one of the highest ownerships I've ever seen any player coming into Game Week 1. It's no secret his pre-season was outrageous, as he seems to have slotted in that Arsenal team seamlessly, getting himself 7 goals and 1 assist. Obviously, we've touched on Arsenal's excellent fixtures, so over the first 5, I do believe Jesus could be the highest scoring forward, if not one of the highest scoring players in FPL. And on the bench, we have gone with Ward from Leicester, as there is a bit of doubt over that Leicester starting spot with Schmeichel potentially leaving the club, which could see Ward step in. Regardless, as far as 4.0 keepers go, I do think Ward's probably the best pick, but not too much focus there. Moving on, Nico Williams and Andreas Pereira are the 2 playing bench players at the minute, as I would expect them to get starting minutes for their sides. Nico Williams has been starting in pre-season for Forest, which is nice to see, and Andreas Pereira looks to be on set pieces and corners for Fulham, which at £4.5 million is excellent. I do think these 2 players are essential bench fillers, as they allow so much more money to be spent around the squad, whilst also having playing players on the bench. And as our £4.5 million forward, we have gone with Plange from Crystal Palace. The Arsenal man moved over there this season, and he has been getting some minutes during pre-season, so hopefully he can maybe get some minutes off the bench, but I'm not expecting too much from him. The main thing with selecting these non-playing bench players is to ensure they don't have a very high ownership, and that's why we haven't gone with Greenwood, as there is the potential that their price does decrease. Thanks for watching today's video. If you guys want to become a channel member, then click the join button down below and get featured on the members board at the end of the videos, just like Philip Ash here. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to show support for the channel and click the notification bell. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.